Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. What up? Oh my gosh. The world is going into chaos. Okay? It's a distraction. It's all a distraction to make you fall asleep, to distract you from stacking. Okay? It's all a distraction. Okay? It's all a distraction to keep you from stacking. Conspiracy theories today. The show topic today is just more Bitcoin buying. That's all we're going to do. Okay? When the protests start happening in the colleges, stack more Bitcoin. When Israel or Iraq or different sides decide they're going to attack each other or not attack each other, stack more Bitcoin. You know? Whether Trump gets indicted or doesn't get indicted or goes to jail or doesn't go to jail or goes to court or doesn't go to court, it's all a good reason to buy more Bitcoin. Okay? It's all a good reason to buy more Bitcoin. Because all that does is distract you from what's happening. And what is happening, you might ask? Well, do you remember a while back there was a bank called, last year, one of the banks that failed was called Republic Bank? Republic something bank. It was in New York, right? And the government came in over the weekend, the Fed came in over the weekend and took over that bank and basically took over its loans or whatever. It sold it to a different bank. No bid, might I ask, right? And just said, hey, you know what? We'll backstop all of the loans, but you need to take these accounts and service these accounts as if nothing is wrong with the bank, right? And when they do things like that, so I think it was called First Republic Bank last year, and also what's the other one? SWB, something like that. SVW, SVB. Anyway, there's like three banks that crashed last year. But this First Republic Bank and all the other banks, what they do is when the money is above $250,000 in an account and the bank crashes or the bank goes out of business, the government's supposed to go in and backstop the $250,000 that are insured by the Fed, and anything up beyond that is counted as a, I guess it's called as a bail-in for the bank, which means any money you have in that bank beyond $250,000 that's FDIC insured gets converted to like basically stock for that bank that failed. Right? So it's like you're paying, it's like the money you have in that bank beyond the $250,000 that's FDIC insured, it's kind of worthless, right? You kind of lose it because you're gaining shares of a bank that's crashing or that's dead or dying, right? So what they do in order to prevent infecting the banking market and making other banks crash is they will go in and they'll do what's called a backstop. They'll guarantee. So let's take a step back. Why are these banks in trouble? They're in trouble because when the interest rate was like at zero, the Fed was signaling that they weren't planning on increasing the interest rate for a long time, right? Until they decided to increase the interest rate like for like a year straight up to like 5% at this point, right? And so when they did that, those banks were taking money, your deposits, and they were buying bank bonds from the bank, treasury notes from the bank at like 3 or 4%, right? At 3 or 4%, even 2%, 3 or 4% is better than 0%, right? So they were basically positive on those bonds, on those treasury bills, right? But since the interest rate has gone up so fast and so hard, now those holdings that maybe we're going to earn the bank 2 or 3%, Now they're losing by 1 or 2% because the interest rate is way above that, right? It's like close to 7%, 7%, right? So they're basically underwater on those bonds, and so when you have any kind of bank run, any kind of situation where people get scared and want to go withdraw their money all at once, they can't liquidate stuff fast enough to cover what they owe people because they put deposits in there, right? So they have to be forced to sell something that they were expecting to make more money on because interest rate was higher. Sorry, interest rate was lower before, but now since interest rate is higher, they can't. All the money's locked away in these bonds that are worth less than what they put into it, right? Or anyway, they're upside down on those bonds as well. So what ends up happening is they end up panicking and looking around to see if they can get any kind of cash or somebody to buy them. Other people in the industry realize that they're looking for cash and looking for somebody to buy them, so it triggers even more people to freak out and start. And people that have more than 250,000 in there will end up trying to withdraw their money even sooner because they know that anything above 250,000 is not FDIC insured. So they freak out and then they trigger basically a run on that specific bank, right? Well, why am I telling you all this? Why should you care? There's another bank that just crashed. It's also called Republic something bank. It crashed on, well, they took it, the government took it over on Friday and switched all their accounts on over the weekend to a different bank. And so they make it to where another bank can buy it. And what they'll do is they'll say, okay, for all of the stuff, for all the holdings this bank is underwater on, there you go. First Republic First, well, First Republic Bank was the first one. Yeah, that was the one. That's the one. Yep. And so now what they do is they'll take and tell the bank that's, yes. So for example, they'll tell Fulton Bank, hey, we'll cover the difference of what these holdings that the bank was holding that are underwater now. We'll guarantee that those holdings will you can, as long as you hold them, you'll get the money that they were gonna get if you were to hold them out to maturity. Like if you didn't have to sell them, right? And so, for example, Fulton Bank would be like, sure, that sounds like a good deal to me. You're getting more customers, you're growing that bank, and you're getting a guarantee from the government that money is good, even though it's technically not, right? It's not because that bank failed, right? They had poor business practices of buying assets that failed, right? But since those assets are bought from the government doesn't want to lose credibility, so they'll end up backstopping it. And in the end, all this whole explanation, all it comes down to is when they backstop and things like that, when they give banks like Fulton Bank credit or an extension of credit to buy Republic First Bank, then it creates more money, right? It creates more dollar units in the system. And when they create more dollar units in the system, it's like everything else, it inflates the dollar, it debases the dollar, so you have less purchasing power if you're holding the dollar. So over the weekend, I think they ended up giving, or I forget, it's like half a trillion bucks basically. It's like $600 billion, something like that, to backstop this in order for Fulton Bank to take over all these accounts and make it to where all their customers can have all the money and it doesn't make anything more of it, like so that all the customers can have their money and it could seem like nothing happened, right? There's about $600 billion worth of investment or money that's created, or I guess you could say money supply growth that this event generated, right? So over the weekend, you got debased a whole lot more than usual, right? But did you hear it in the news? Like Garrett probably heard it in the news because he's watching YouTube stuff. So he's watching Twitter stuff. Sorry, he was watching Bitcoin content, and everybody in the Bitcoin community is super hyper aware of like banks crashing because it proves the thesis, right? That every time a bank crashes, it tells you that the system is messed up, right? You have all these banks that don't have to hold any cash on hand, that can just issue debt out of nowhere, and they can invest your deposits into anything they want without fear of it being a bad investment, because they know if it's a bad investment, the government will come in and rescue them like they just did with these guys with First Republic Bank or Public First Bank. They'll come in and rescue them, and nobody goes to jail, nobody gets in trouble. It's just like, all right, we spent all our money and we did a bunch of poor decisions. So can we get a bailout? Because if we don't get a bailout, we're too big to fail, and the whole economy is going to drop. Okay, so this bank wasn't even that big. Okay, this bank it was like a regional bank in where is it? Is it Pennsylvania? Yeah, Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, right? And so it makes you think, it makes you kind of wonder, like, okay, well, if this bank that wasn't that big warrants according to their policy, a bailout, damn, we're in big trouble, because that was a small bank, right? A small local bank, right? And if that small local bank couldn't be allowed to fail, right? Then, oh my gosh, we're in big trouble, because that means that any other bank, and that means that most other banks are bigger than that bank. So that means that for sure any of those banks can't fail. That means that they're gonna get bailouts if they do fail, right? So what would you do as one of the people that runs those banks? You'd be like, okay, well, that bank is a lot smaller than us, and they just got a bailout because they couldn't fail, because they're too big to fail, and they're so small, right? So that means we're good. We can get away with anything. We can invest in any kind of investment we want, and if we take the biggest gamble we take, and if we win, and our gamble pays off, then all those profits are for the bank, for the company, and for the investors of that bank, right? But if we take this crazy same gamble and invest our depositors' money into some weird thing, and we lose, right? It doesn't even have to be a weird thing. It's just whatever. The economy is crashing anyway, right? And we lose, then we just go back to the government and say, you know what, we lost. We're about to fail. You need to bail us out, right? So this is the exact opposite of what capitalism is, right? Capitalism is supposed to be like you make a good service, a good product, that's the best product or the best service, and society or the market demands that product because they think it's worth it, right? And you stay in business because you make a good product. You stay in business because you continue to make good on your promises and make a good product, and the market sees that as a good product, right? And if you were to start to make products that are subpar, and you're kind of making cheap stuff and more expensive, maybe, for example, right? Then the market will naturally stop buying from you, right? Because it's not a good product, it's not a good business practice. So you kind of just losing. That's capitalism, right? You go bankrupt because you can't keep your customers because your product sucks and your service sucks and it's too expensive, right? Well, except not if you're a bank. If you're a bank, your product can suck. You can have crappy business practices, right? And you'll get rewarded for it, because when you make profits, you don't have to pay back the people that lend you the money to make your investments on. They just get like less than 1% for having a savings account with you, right? And then if you fail, if your investment fails, if you're a poor custodian of the money, then you go to the bank and get a bailout, and the people that lend you the money have to pay for that bailout anyway with taxes, right? So it's just not right, and that's what's happening, okay? And as long as the interest rate is held high, and it keeps going up. They're trying to say that they're trying. I think the FOMC meeting is tomorrow, where they're supposed to, or the people want him to announce that he's going to start lowering the interest, but he can't lower interest because if he lowers interest, the money supply growth will continue, right, at a faster rate. It's still going, right, and so it's like I said before, he's stuck. Jerome Powell's stuck between a sword and a hard spot, right? A sword and a hard place, because he can't increase and he can't decrease, because both of those things trigger the money supply to expand, right, in different forms. And yeah, so all of that to just reiterate that don't get distracted by all these different news articles and yeah, if you want to keep up with like World War III coming up and all that stuff, keep up with it, right? But don't be surprised if all that stuff just kind of goes away after the elections and you have a less of a stack because you sold out of fear. Don't sell your stack. Stack more, especially right now, and try to get to that one Bitcoin, guys. Give me a second, guys. I know this is totally random, but I need to talk to my gardener, so I'll be right back. Entertain yourselves in the chat, and oh yeah, you can ask Boltar some questions while I come back. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. All right, boys. Oh my gosh, Voltar, should I stack more BTC? Heck yeah, it's Voltar with a B as in Bitcoin. It's so funny. All right, we're back. Okay, before I broke my hand, I was stacking branches from the shrub. Remember I told you guys I was in a fight with my hedges, and I started cutting all the hedges, and then like I have a bunch of branches laying everywhere, so I was like, can you clean all those branches up? So there we go. All right, here we go. All right. Anyway, I know it was a random introduction, but don't let all that stuff distract you. Just keep stacking. Stick to your DCA schedule. You know, you have your set amount and you have your set timing of how often you buy. Stick to that. Okay. And when you see dips, take advantage of them. Yeah. If you're able to, take advantage of those dips. Take advantage of those dips. All right. Now let's start the show. For reals. Let's jump into the SAT strength. SAT strength. That was a long entrance, huh? Today, the price of Bitcoin is $62,918.14. Despite the wars, despite the protests, despite all the banks crashing and them hiding it from you with all these distractions, Bitcoin continues to hold above 60,000 and it's crabbing, it's consolidating to get ready for a big push into the stratosphere. Today you can buy 1,589 Satoshis for a single dollar. What the hell is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents. A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So all of that to say that it's not that expensive. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once. You can buy fractions of it. Satoshis, that is. Okay? Let's say you're walking down the street, minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you could have. It's almost 16 Satoshis today. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. It's a pretty good time to buy. It's always a good time to buy. Over the whole lifespan of Bitcoin, if you've been able to buy Bitcoin and hold it for at least 4 years, you're in the positive. Okay? So that's by design due to the halvings that happen every 4 years. All right. So that is the SAT strength. Cool. We kind of already did why we stack, but let's do a little bit more why we stacking, guys. Why we stack. We stack because saving in Bitcoin is like giving yourself a continuous retroactive raise for the hours you already worked for as long as you hold the Bitcoin that represents those hours you already worked. As soon as you sell them, then you cash out. But we don't cash out because the longer we hold them, the more the money printers keep going, the more the banks keep issuing debt, the more valuable your Bitcoin becomes because it's the one thing in the whole universe that you can buy and hold without permission. Nobody can take it from you. And it does not expand. It doesn't expand as far as like the supply. It's capped at 21 million, and there's definitely less than 21 million Bitcoin available because a bunch have been lost. A bunch have been bought and locked up by people like me, regular plebs like you and I, that figured out, hey, what's the scarcest thing I could own? Oh yeah, Bitcoin. Okay? What's the one thing in the whole world that no matter what any government does, any person does, anybody does, there cannot be more of it made? Can you make more houses? Yes. Can you make more real estate? Yeah. You can, can you make more square footage? Yes, you can build up on existing land. Could you make more cash? More dollar bills? Yeah, that's like the easiest thing to make. Can you make more bolivars? Yes, all day. Can you make more dollars? Yep. Can you make more silver? Yes, you can go mine for silver and make more. Not all of the silver in the world has been discovered. Can you make more gold? Yes, you can. Right? So, there's no thing in the world besides Bitcoin that you can't make more of. Okay? So, what is that? Why is that even important? What's the significance of that? The significance of that is that it's the hardest thing to make more of. Okay? It's the hardest money. Not physically hard, like my broken bones, but difficult to make. That's what makes money hard. Okay? Dollar bills are easy to make. They print them up with machines. Easy to make. Cheap. Right? Gold is harder to make. It's more difficult to make. So gold is harder money than currency, than fiat. Government issued money. So it is harder money. That's why people, before Bitcoin came out, would buy and hodl gold, right? But gold has a limitation of its weight, it's physical, right? You have to secure it. So the cost to move around gold and secure gold, and the danger of doing so is a lot higher, right? Like a lot of things in the history of the world have been started because of gold transportation, right? Most of the wars in the history of the world have been over gold, right? Over stealing another country's gold. So, it's not a good. It's a good store of value, I guess, but it's not. It's not something that you can just hold and not worry about. You gotta be constantly aware, right? So out of all those things, you can still make more gold, right? And it's hard to hold. So, and we can't fly in the airport with our gold bars. We can't, escape from a war torn area to safety with the gold bars. You could try, but you'll probably get caught, and they'll probably just take your gold from you, right? You could with your seed phrase though, right? Sell your stuff, put your value in Bitcoin, and memorize your seed phrase for that temporary journey to safety. And once you get to safety, you can write down your seed phrase again and have a backup and restore your wallet, and you're good to go, right? It's pretty wild. All right. So anyway, that's why we stack. We stack because Bitcoin is just better money. It's perfectly engineered money. It's a better store of value, and it's the kryptonite to the current money system that steals from you, right? It turns the money system that steals from you into the money system that makes you wealthier, okay? Because now you have an asset that's harder than the cash they're inflating, and so the value of things start to flow into Bitcoin. And as more and more people realize that it's a good way to not get debased away, the value of your stack will grow faster and faster because you're already in it. You're in early. You're in early. Okay, and don't get it wrong. All of us here are in early. Even if you just started stacking today, you're still early, right? You didn't beat the institutions. You didn't beat BlackRock and the big players, but you're still pretty early. You're still pretty early. All right. So let's jump into the stack recap. Stack recap. All right. So today, let's do some shout outs real quick. Do shout out to Garrett. Thanks for tuning in today. Leonard in the house. Hard Huddle. What up? And also Mr. All Nighter Hider. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. Okay. So that's our stack so far, right? For the whole lifespan of the show, 15.6 million Satoshis. For 2024, it's 4.9 million Satoshis. Almost there. I didn't even update the sheet last time, did I? Oh, dang it. Oh my God. I'm like so far behind on the sheet. 25. I'm 1 day behind on the sheet. Okay. You know what, guys? Let's update the sheet. I know. So on the 26th. Did I miss? I missed a day, right? I missed on the 24, 25. 26. Here it is. Oh, I think I bought. Let me check, guys. Give me a second, boys. I'll make sure that we have these on the same page. Okay, our buy was for $20 on the 26th. There it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's populate this real quick. 4, 26, 24, because the stack recap wouldn't be right if we don't do this one. 4, 26, 24, $20. Yeah, 4, 26, 24. You bought at 64.78. I'm such a klutz right now with this cast on, guys. It feels so clumsy. I'll tell you guys a story while I fill this out. I went to a gardening store. I'm not gonna say the name of it, and I was trying to get help. Not even trying to get help. I was doing everything on my own. And when I got to the cash register, they asked if I was on their loyalty program, and I was like, no, I'm a new customer. I've never been here before. And I was like, but I'd like to be, because I want to start doing more gardening, so I need to get on that loyalty program and get some discounts, right? And instead of just taking my name and my phone number or whatever, this guy hands me a postcard. It's like a 5x7 postcard, 5x8 postcard with like it's asking for name, address, phone number, all kinds of stuff, right? And I was like, what? He's like, here, you need to fill this out. And I'm like, oh, that's not gonna happen, right? And he didn't even like offer to like just like type it in the computer as I was saying it, right? So I'm like, all right. I hand the card to my son and I tell him to start filling it in, and we're sitting there and there's people in line, right? Until the guy finally says, all right, can I just she's like, just give me your name and phone number. I was like, all right. You could have just done that from the beginning instead of freaking handing a guy with a card to fill out, bro. Come on. Read the room, right? What up, J-Dub? Good to see you. All right, so we got this here. Figured out. Is that a mess coming? J-Dub and yep, Hard Huddle. Okay. Yeah, but it was pretty funny after the fact. I was like, man, that guy's like talk about not reading the room. Talk about not being aware. I'm like, bro. Well, maybe he didn't know I was right-handed, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, right? But I was like, I can't write with my left hand. And I handed the card to my son. My son got about halfway through the thing before the guy said, all right, I'll just take your name and phone number. We could just do it with your name and phone number. I was like, dude, why you make me fill out this card, dude? Right? Why you make me fill out this card, bro? Man. So I was kind of a little bit, not mad, but just like annoyed that he would give me a homework assignment, dude, when I have a busted hand. 5.029 million Satoshis for our 2024 stack. All right, we're up to date, right? And we're also up to date on the 100 stacks challenge. I stacked, 27, 28, 20. What? 27? We're not up to date on that one. Dang it. Let me see. 27. We should be up to date. Okay, here's 62. Yep. 62 was on the 27th. 61 was on the 28th. So we're one behind. Okay, so that's not bad. 28, 24. This catches us up right here though. 28, 61. Oh yeah, this is a buy last night at 63.009. That was a good buy. 61. That yielded 0.000968111. Okay, so now our stack for our 100 stack challenge. Wow, we're almost caught up to our 2024 stack. 4.9 million Satoshis in that time frame, and we're still down about 7%. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Nothing. We're gonna keep stacking. Stick to the plan. Okay. I think we're about halfway done. Right? A little bit over halfway done. Maybe about halfway done. So that's good. All right. So that catches us up. And sorry it took so long to catch up, guys, but we needed to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And now there's only one thing left to do, and that is it's time. It's time to stack some sets. Maybe if you could have a co-host, I should have a co-host. Maybe. Hard Huddle, it's hard to have a co-host, dude, because I don't want somebody up here to show up with their own ulterior motives, derailing the show from what I want it to be. And this show is basic, dude. Super simple. We show up and we buy Bitcoin and we talk about it a little bit, and that's it. Nothing more than that. I don't want to get political. I don't want to get religious. I just want to stack sats. That's it. And I want to show people that it's easy to do and that you can do it too. Even if you're a Republican, even if you're a Democrat, even if you're an atheist, even if you're a Christ-fearing man, doesn't matter. Anybody can stack sats. And I just don't want all those any kind of to have to explain or to derail into side conversations that I'm not interested in having online anyway, right? The best you can do is help me bury my seed phrase. Teach your dog to stop custody. Hard Huddle. Let's go. Okay, so we're buying $20 today for the stack of the day. Here we go. Get this preview going. preview. Boom. Boom. Okay. We got the screenshot. I'm gonna move it up so I can show you guys my. There it goes. Got the music. And we start the drum roll because we're buying $20 right now. All right. One buy down, one buy to go. And here's the part of the show where we have some audience interaction and you get to decide. Oh, look at today. We spent we bought an extra 314 Satoshis because there's no fees. Let's go. Okay. So now we get to decide if we should stack the, let's see, where are we here on the 100 stacks challenge? Should we stack the $13 line today or the $60 line today? Okay, you decide. I'm putting in the poll right now. I'm just gonna put stack because I can't type that much. 13 or 60. 13 or 60 today for the 100 stacks challenge. You decide. The people must choose. No fees, baby. Oh, you guys are hilarious. People lack common sense, terrible room readers. Yes, this always worries me. Yeah. That's true, J-Dub. It's wild. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've always gone out of my way to, if I see somebody that's like obviously disabled or has a cast or something, right? Like, if I see them walking to the door and I'm at the door first, you know, if they're not too far away, even if they are a little far away, I have the time to stand there, hold the door open for them, you know. Just go a little bit beyond to be a little extra courteous to somebody that might be injured, right? Right, and I get it. I'm not. It's just a forearm. I mean, it's just a hand, right? It's just a cast. I don't expect preferential treatment, right? But I guess I kind of do expect preferential treatment. I guess you could say, if you want to call it that. It's more like just being aware of it, or like empathetic, right? And if you're gonna make me fill out a work application while I'm just trying to get my rewards for this place, then at least give me time to fill it out, and don't rush me. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the whole time my son was writing, like he doesn't have all of the details memorized that he needs to have memorized that are to do with me, right? So I'm trying to tell him my email address, and I can hear the guy like go like that, like sigh, right? Man, that got me a little pissed. Yeah, that got me a little pissed, actually. Right, but anyway. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the people have decided. All right, people, we're ending this poll before I get more triggered. And the survey says we're buying $60 worth of Bitcoin today for the 100 stacks challenge. $60. All right, let's do this. Let's get this. Let's come back here to the screen. Boom. All right. Here is the purchase screen. Let me get queued up. $60. There it is. I'm gonna generate this preview. I have $8,429 left in my fee-free purchases. Here we go. Preview. Right, left-handed if it's not that difficult. Right, left-handed, it's not that difficult. Are you left-handed? I know, right? You know what I should have done? I should have filled that out myself with my left hand. All like, just let my left hand do its thing, you know? Looks like I'm writing like scary text because all the lines are jaggedy, right? And then watch him kind of like trying to type it into the computer. That's what I should have done. Teach him a lesson. I've been drawing my left hand. Don't get it twisted. But that was like on day 1 or 2 of getting the cast, so I wasn't prepared to make the step yet. Oh my gosh! All right, let me get this preview going. Okay, I got it. Notes have been updated. The time to purchase is now. Here we go. $60 worth of Bitcoin for the 100 Stacks Challenge ongoing. If you don't know what the 100 Stacks Challenge is, I'll tell you real quick while the purchase is going through. We have a spreadsheet with 100 lines. Each line represents the numbers 1 through 100. Lines 1 through 10, you have to buy $10 worth of Bitcoin on those days. Lines, everything else, if you buy line 56, you have to buy $56 worth of Bitcoin. If you buy line 60, you have to buy $60 worth of Bitcoin. If you buy each line, you would have invested $5,095. But by the time you're done with the whole sheet, it's going to take you about 3 months and 10 days. And by then, the plan is that the value of the money you're saving will be a lot more than $5,095. So far, not so good, but it's okay. We're going to keep holding it. And as long as Bitcoin keeps going up, this will be more than what we saved in the future. Okay. And we're hoping to see it happen like within the span of those 3 months. Those 3 months are not over yet, but we're getting close. And so far, it's not so good, but we'll see what happens. I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to pump up and we'll be well within the positive soon enough. Okay. Let's go check on that purchase. There it is. Just like that. We're able to stack without fees. So we stacked 941 more Satoshis since there was no fee to buy this. So that said, that's pretty much the show, isn't it? We bought, we've stacked. Does that put us over? Oh, that might put us over 5 million Satoshis for the show, for the 100 stacks. Let's see, 4, 29, 24. Today we bought at 63,136. We bought $60 worth. No fees, baby. And that yielded 0.00095033 Bitcoin, which translates to 95,033 Satoshis. And yes, in fact, that does put us above 5 million Satoshis for the 100 Stacks Challenge. And just like that, I think the 100 Stacks Challenge has overtaken the regular DCA challenge, right? 5.029 million Satoshis. And yeah, so our stack for our 100 stacks are actually we have more Bitcoin on the 100 stacks now than our 2024 DCA. We've been stacking pretty crazy on this one. This was been pretty psychopathic. So $3,405 is what we've put in so far. And it's only worth $3,173 for now. Okay. All right. So that is a StackSats show in an essence, broken down. We buy Bitcoin, we talk about Bitcoin, and that's it. That's how we roll. Okay. Check it out. I did get a bunch of signatures on my cast from the homies. That's right. I'm all about it, guys. You know what? The one thing about this cast I really like is that I get to put this right in somebody's face, right? If they're gonna be staring at my injury, if I'm gonna be walking down the street and someone's gonna be staring at my injury, you know what they're gonna be looking at? You're gonna be looking at that. Study Bitcoin. Okay? Study Bitcoin. Okay? That's what they're gonna see. Right? And then whenever someone wants to hand me something, HODL, baby. HODL. I see this every morning. It's pretty cool. Right? HODL and Study Bitcoin. That's it. Study Bitcoin and HODL. That's all you gotta do. Put my seed phrase on there? Nah. I'm gonna put a fake seed phrase on here. I should. It's just the texture is too here. ASMR. The texture is too coarse to write the 12 words or the 24 words. Like they have to be super big. It's like writing in like 8-bit text, like Mario Brothers or something, right? So it'd be hard to do all the 24 words, But anyway, that is the Stack Stats show. Hope you enjoyed the show. I know, guys, don't expect the shows this week to be amazing. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out what to do with this damn thing. My hand is feeling better, right? Like I went back after I got my cast and got it cut out right here, so I can have more thumb motion, right? Because my thumb was falling asleep, and now that's helped a lot. And the swelling is, I think the worst part of the swelling is over, so the cast doesn't feel super tight. But still, it sucks. It sucks to have it, right? I'm trying to make the best of it, but it sucks to have it. Like, I'd rather have my hand. Like, I can't do a lot of stuff that I really enjoy doing, like draw with my left hand. I'm trying to learn to draw with my right hand. It's kind of difficult, but I'm doing it. I love to play guitar too. My left hand does all the stuff on the fretboard, so that's fine. But I still can't strum because of the angle of the cast. See, they made it this way so I could kind of work on a keyboard and have that right. But it's the worst for guitar because like this hits before I could even hold a pick and strum the guitar. Just the angle's not right. Okay. Plus, a lot of the guitar strumming is with the wrist, so I can't use my wrist. But I am looking into getting one of those picks that go on your thumb. It's like a thumb pick, and it has a loop, and it goes around your thumb. So if I can extend my thumb and use my arm, I might be able to strum the guitar like kind of like this way, with a thumb pick sticking out, right this way. So I might try that. It sucks, but at least I'll be able to play some guitar. I can't fish because I can't even. I can barely touch these two fingers. The other fingers, that's my broken finger. That one's not too far. That one's too far. And every time I reach down with this finger to hold something, this part of the cast is hard, and it cuts into my finger here. So it's not the funnest thing to do, right? So I might have him trim that a little bit, so I can have more movement on this finger and be able to do like at least the OK sign. If I could do that, then I could probably fish, right? Like probably not cast with this one. Probably cast with one hand, and then reel with this hand. But right now, if I start fishing, the wear and tear of doing this, I'm gonna end up cutting my finger against the cast here. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't know. You probably don't want to hear this stuff, but that's what's going on. So don't expect the show to be the greatest this week. I'm still trying to figure it out, how to make things a little bit smoother. And but you know what? The whole moral of the show here, the whole point of the show here is not to have the highest quality show with the least technical difficulties. Expect technical difficulties. It's fun. It's fine. It's part of the show. Okay. I'm a one-man band. Okay. The live studio audience isn't even real. Okay. But I'm just saying, we're out here trying to have some fun, trying to stack some Bitcoin. And if you have any questions, that's what's most important. If you have any Bitcoin questions, ask the questions. It'll give me something to focus on and talk about that will help you. And if you have a question it's very likely that someone else has that same question but is afraid to ask. Okay, so if you have a question, just ask, and it's not only gonna help you, it's gonna help the other person that wasn't brave enough to ask. Okay, all right. Fishing above army. Fishing over cracked bones. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'll leave you guys with one more funny anecdote. Not anecdote. Anecdote. Not antidote. It's not poison. Anecdote. I was at Home Depot, cruising around the garden aisle. I'm telling you guys, this is my new obsession is gardening. I'm trying to learn how to do it's called the Kratky method, where you have like a bucket full of nutrient water, and you start the plant at the top, and the plant basically absorbs the water, and as the root grows into the water, it absorbs the water and it leaves space at the top for air. So you don't have to do any kind of other setup. You don't need a pump. You don't need a hydroponic setup. Nothing like that. It's just super simple. Bucket with water, plant at the top through a hole, and the root system just kind of grows in the water, and then as it drinks the water, it makes space for it to have oxygen. Right. So it's set it and forget it style. Okay. And I'm in there trying to look at all these different things that they have, all different things I could potentially plant, and it's pretty cool. Well, on the way back from the garden center at Home Depot, this random dude in the parking lot asked me how long are you? He's like, dude, did you break your wrist or did you break your forearm? So I was like, oh, I broke my hand. He's like, oh man. I was like, so random for somebody to ask you what you broke, But then he showed me his hand, like his forearm, and you could tell he had just had like all this was like not tanned, and he had a giant scar right here, dude, like right here. It was like probably like a 5-inch long scar, where they probably had to open him up and put some bolts in there, And I was like, oh man. He's like, yeah, I just got my cast off like a couple of days ago. Man, it sucked. I'm like, oh dang, that sucks. I was like, oh dude. So when I saw a scar, I was like, oh man. I lucked out then because I didn't need any hardware, but it looks like you had some hardware done. It's like, yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, it was pretty funny. It's like the Brotherhood of the Broken Bones. Let me know in the chat. Have you ever had a broken bone? And we'll end the show with that. Have you ever had a broken bone? Yes or no? Put it in the chat. We'll end the show with that. So funny. There we go. All right. As you guys answer the question, I'm going to start wrapping the show up. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, you should have been my leg when... I should see my leg when the fan took the cast. Ooh. Both wrists at the same time. Oh my God, Garrett. I could not deal with that. Oh, jeez. My left arm is getting strong though, dude. I'm doing a bunch of stuff with it. More than 2, dang. Yeah, I know, Leonard. You've had more than your share of broken bones. You told me the story too. It's wild. Yeah, it's crazy. All right then. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the Stack Sats Show. One was compound, the other was, oh my gosh, dude, Garrett, that sucks. Dang. All right, boys. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode of the Stack Sats Show. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later, guys. Hit me up in Discord if you have any questions about anything. Setting up your hardware wallet, setting up your automatic withdrawal from Swan if you're using Swan, setting up your hardware wallet, getting a hardware wallet, Discord, guys. Okay. All right, boys. Good night. See you later. Bye. Oh my God. Both angles of jeez.